Unbelievable! That is a dream goal!
They found it! They finally found the goal they were looking for!
What a finish that is! Do not scratch your eyes! This is really happening!
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrabax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrabax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Laurel Hill Park in Secaucus. We are here for APSL action, Metropolitan Conference, Hoboken FC and Richmond County FC. Hoboken is solidly in fourth place as they search for their first ever APSL playoff berth. 6 points ahead of Doxa. They are 1 point behind New York Pan Cyprian in third, but they have the game in hand there after their game against Vistula Garfield was rescheduled. Richmond 7th in the Metro Division. They are a relatively healthy distance away from the drop zone. Behind Leros on goal difference, they are in 7th. They are 6 points ahead of New York International, who at our last watching were trailing Lansdowne Yonkers out on Roosevelt Island. Hoboken laid down an 8-1 stomping on Richmond this past September in match day 2, but don't think that that's going to be predictive. Last year, they similarly inflicted a heavy defeat on Richmond early in the season when they went to Staten Island, but when Richmond came back here, they won a 5-4 thriller. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Umbro. You can head to umbroteam.com to start designing your team kit for free now. Produced by Umbro, designed and worn by you. Starting lineups here for Hoboken. Andrew Bordy is in goal. Adam Garner, Damian Searchwell are the fullbacks. Tohib Shadimu and Brian Paredes at center back. Sergio Kubel, Sebastian Rojek, and Christian Libreros in midfield. And up front, Samuel Epitim will partner up with the Terror Twins, Andrew Bordy and Cam McGregor. Or excuse me, Mike Bello and Cam McGregor. Bordy in goal for Richmond County. Ronald Golder is in goal. Armando Guarnera, Tim Kane, Chris Genie, and Musa Diarra in the back. Alan Kaptanovich and Peter LaRose in midfield. Keithland Caesar, Sal Barone, and Joel Favard in the support line for the striker Amir Islami. It was around this time last year that Richmond came to Laurel Hill Park. Hoboken opened the scoring in that game, but Richmond picked up 2 goals, and then they never trailed again, although Hoboken would keep on equalizing until close to the very end. Now, not quite sure what the minor holdup there was. And off we go. Hoboken in their change strip today in the white shirts with the blue shorts. Richmond in all black. Adam Garner and Brian Paredes, one of the old guard. Shodimu forces a quick goal kick. So much change for Hoboken this year compared to last, but they have weathered it well. It has enhanced them. And this team that really struggled to score goals a year ago have come alive. Here comes Epi team. Kubel. Now pushed out to Garner. Garner, that was behind Epi team a little bit. They're going to keep it going though. Rojek, now backing it up. Libreros sprays it out. Damien Searchwell. Searchwell, he's showed an eye for goal. Searchwell, still Searchwell. Now Epi team to the byline. He's going to get a corner out of it. Damien Searchwell. Scored in about 20 seconds back on March 26th when Hoboken played Zum Schneider. Hoboken on the back of 2 wins after starting the calendar year of 2026 with a little bit of a downer after a big win against CPR. They drew against Leros. They lost here to New York Pan Cyprian. That was their last home game. But they turned that around, beat the Pan Cyprians 4-3 in the away game. Richmond coming in on a pretty good run of form as well. Here's Cam McGregor, league's leading scorer. Backed up all the way to Golder. Genie forward, Rojek. And that looked like it was a fair challenge, but apparently McGregor got a little too much. Backing that up. And all the way back. Diarra. Back to Genie. Genie gonna take this long. No one was close to it in black. Easy for Brian Paredes. Now Paredes again. Rojek bringing it all the way back to Bordy. Rojek. Richmond trying to press, not give them too much room. Good play there by Searchwell. Searchwell a little too quickly there for Mike Bello. Bello and McGregor, 7 and 12 goals combined this year. To think that they form the most dangerous forward duo in the conference. James Tristino and Sebastian Ruiz in for the Pan Cyprians, perhaps. Here's Epitim, and he gets poked down. 55 degrees. Although the weather, ooh, that's a good ball through. Flag stayed down. If that had been a little bit less heavy, Cam McGregor would have had a 13th goal. Paredes. Hoboken so far controlling the tempo. Don't actually know if Richmond have touched the ball in Hoboken's half yet. Libreros going up top. McGregor controls. McGregor! Cam McGregor! It looked like he'd missed it. And that first attempt seemed like it wrong-footed Golder, because when he actually did get his foot to the ball, Golder looked like he wasn't expecting it to go that way. And an early Hoboken lead. In the 6th minute, a baker's dozen for McGregor on the season. And don't forget, he didn't start playing for Hoboken until the end of September. Adam Gardner will trigger this back in. Hoboken. Libreros gets called for a push there. Looked minimal, but back around we go. That was Hoboken's 54th goal. They came into the day second in the conference in scoring to New York Greek Americans, the league leaders. That's into the middle and a first real attacking touch for Richmond, but Sal Barone has that taken away from him. Diarra. Back to Genie. Genie almost taken out by Kubel. We noted they're Hoboken 5 goals behind the Greeks, but the Greeks have played one more game. And that one more game includes a 10-0 stomping of Vistula a couple of weeks ago. Search well. With some pressure there. Into the middle. Bello. Danger here. McGregor. And Kubel. Just over. Good attacking football there from Hoboken. It is sunny but windy. And the wind does die down. The sun can be pretty pleasant, but with the river at our backs, that doesn't happen too often. Now Richmond trying to penetrate. Search well. Running Caesar out. First corner of the match for Richmond. Headed out. Barone. Back out to Caesar. Faced up by Rojek. Gets by Rojek. He's able to get his foot out and block that. Corner number 2. That's into the middle. And that's a mistake. Cleaned up by Searchwell, though. Golder, he's going to have to win this, and he does. If he hadn't won that ball, it was all over, and it would have been 2-0. That's Rojek who takes that ball away. Into the box, and McGregor is called for a push. This game is being called tight. That would have been a lot of space for McGregor. Barone all the way back trying to help his team get out of this, and now he does. Now he's got space. Caesar towards the middle, easy catch for Bordy. Andrew Bordy, you want to talk about a guy that can control his box. Heck of a shot stopper too, but that is his best attribute out there in goal. Tangled up, LaRose. The foul is pulled back, and Hoboken manager Matt Farrell is unhappy with that. So is Mike Bello. Hoboken leading 1-0 here early in the first half. Like they got a ball that was not as inflated as it ought to have been now that we've switched that out. Here's Genie. Diarra. Backing it up. Richmond trying to even out some of the possession and rhythm. Tim Kaine moving that forward to Islami. Barone. Caesar. Islami. He's way out though. Trying to move that through, and it's going to be a goal kick. Libreros. Kubel, sorry. Searchwell. Searchwell looking for Bello there. Not quite a controlled touch by Genie. That's into the middle. Here's Kubel. Kubel over again. He's just got to get that down a little bit. We got 3 balls over on that no man's land out by that softball field. Here comes Golder. Upfield. Rojek wins the header. Good play there by Paredes trying to move it through. Rose able to spray that out to Caesar. Caesar. All the way across. Favard. Tracking back is McGregor. Golder just has to hoof that away. Brought down initially by Epi-Team. Diarra. Pressure very nearly getting to him. Here's Barone. LaRose. Caesar. Caesar shook Searchwell. Shadimu came up to get in his way. Caesar trying to dummy that. Islami couldn't beat the defense to it. Libreros. That's Diarra who wins it first, but comes back to Paredes. Now Rojek. Libreros. Big bounce off the turf, but Epi-Team's going to control. Now he's going to try and settle it down. Libreros with a pair on him. And here is a good switch to Searchwell. Searchwell into the middle. That was very close to the run of Mike Bello. Second corner of the game for Hoboken. It'll be Epi-Team to take this. Corners have been a useful weapon for Hoboken over the course of this season. A lot of shifting going around in the box. Good delivery. It just was a little bit too high for Bello. Rojek's shot is rejected. And that's going to be a foul. Again, very light contact being called here. It's not the kind of, not necessarily the kind of fouls you like to see called. LaRose moving through with it. He's going to have to back it off. Diarra. Genie. Errant pass right over to our camera position. And Richmond making some clamor there. I think they were looking for a foul throw to be called. Didn't look like there was anything untoward to me. Epi-Team around Barone. Here's Searchwell. Searchwell on the ground. Hoboken still going. That is flicked away. It is going to go out of play. Searchwell. Couple of instances of contact there that have been a lot heavier than some of the fouls that have been called early in this game. '20th minute. Searchwell looking like he's in some pain there. Can't tell from where I'm standing what part of his body they're working on. It's something with his right leg. trainer is flexing his knee. I hope that they're not checking for what it looks like they're checking for. Referee is saying that there is going to be a substitution. We'll see how Hoboken responds. Damian Searchwell, very recent addition to this Hoboken roster, but he has played very well since he made his debut. Can't tell whether or not the official had called for advantage or if he had waved play on there. Searchwell walking very gingerly. He is walking, which is good to see, but if it's a knee, that sometimes doesn't necessarily mean as much. See who will come on for him rather. Haven't seen looks like Jack Krongold. The formalities as Richmond send the ball back. That pass from Shadimu, blocked by LaRose. LaRose still backing it up to Kapitanovic, but he loses it. McGregor, the goal scorer. Epiteam putting on some speed. Epiteam to the byline. Epiteam blocked out for another corner. And Epiteam is quick when he lays on the Jets. That's into the box, but Golder with an easy claim. Kane. Upfield, Krongold with his first touch. Epiteam. He gets a push in the back there from LaRose. Hoboken will start it fast. Libreros. Krongold. Still Krongold. He fires that in. McGregor on the backside. Bello sweeps it home. Beautiful. Ron Golder with no chance. And 25 minutes in, it's 2-0 Hoboken. What a fantastic hookup that was. Krongold putting his cross all the way down to the far post where Cam McGregor was waiting. And at that point, Bello was unmarked. It was a beautiful and easy sweep home. Epi team. Rojek. A little bit beyond him, but Garner is there. Shodimu. Krongold. Already made quite the impact. That ball poked away from him. It's going to be a goal kick for Hoboken. Avoided the pitfall from this match last year of allowing Richmond that quick equalizer. That is high into the air. Rojek. LaRose. Diarra. Diarra doesn't really have an option forward. Favard. That is all the way back for Genie. Kaptanovic. And that is going to be the way some conflict there between some Hoboken players over that throw. Garner to trigger it back in. Looking for Kubel, but neatly intercepted there. LaRose. LaRose with Kubel right on his back. And that's a miss hit from Genie. That's going to go all the way back for a corner kick. You want to look for some more action in the APSL. 7:30 here on Game in Frame. We'll see Zum Schneider against Vistula Garfield on Wednesday. One of the many Hellenic derbies. Leros against Doxa at 9. That goes all the way to the far post and behind. Not the best delivery from Epi team. Kane. Rojek with those long legs poking it away. Krongold. Rojek. Kubel looking for the diagonal ball. That's Garner. Garner. He gets another corner out of it. That's 5 now. Midway through this half. Kubel standing with it. He's going to send that to the far post. McGregor was lurking. It looked like he was trying to do exactly what he did on that second goal, just send it back across. Header by Garner. Shodimu is going to bring that all the way back to Bordy. Andrew Bordy has not had to face down a shot so far. I don't think that looks like Richmond are trying to shift things up formation-wise. They're starting to settle into a into a three-man line instead of the 4-2-3-1 that they started. Krongold loses it to Caesar. Yeah, this looks like they've dropped into a 3-5-2. And that's Kubel. Kubel leaves it. Bello! Was that a hand? It doesn't matter, it's a goal anyway. Mike Bello scores his second of the day. The assist from Kubel in the 31st minute. And it is 3-0. And Hoboken now have this game firmly under control. Shodimu backs that out. So the formation change from Richmond so far not bearing much in the way of results. And this one could get away from them pretty quickly. Here's McGregor. McGregor still going with Diarra, and that is a foul at the end. Kane. Diarra, who's dropped back into the back three there. Favard has moved more into a wing-back role. Sal Barone's dropped back into the midfield. Islami has not touched the ball very much. And Hoboken's defense making sure that nothing comes of that. Just beyond the half-hour mark rather. That's a rough pass by Libreros, and he knew it. And the flag is up on Islami. Shadimo bringing it back into play. Rojek, Bello trying to adjust to that in midair. He still does come down with it though. Krongold, Epiteam. That's a good move around Armando Guarnera, who's not a name that we've talked about much. That ball put through for Caesar. Maybe Richmond on the counter here. Good marking by Kubel. It's a corner kick, but Sergio Kubel kept that from being a tap in. Ice cream trucks here if anybody wants some. Richmond's third corner. Near post, trying to flick. Nothing untoward in the box as Hoboken get it clear. Here comes Kubel. He's got McGregor on his left. Now cutting in. Nice interchange between him and Rojek. Couldn't get the ball through to Bello. And now Richmond barreling their way forward again. Caesar can't get around Krongold. Krongold has done a very good job since coming in for the injured Damian Searchwell. Rojak. Garner receives from Paredes. Looking for Bello. Kane heads it away. Immediately, Hoboken are on them again. Caesar with a pair of white shirts on him. That's a good play there by Rojak. Got in front of LaRose. Garner. Favard a little bit too far behind him. That's a good ball. McGregor didn't quite have the shooting angle. McGregor still going. That's going to be a goal kick. Tried to make that one complicated when he had the safety valve of McGregor out to his right. Golder putting that into play. Paredes. Libreros. Lifts that over for Bello, but the flag is up. That was a... Mike Bello, though, was disturbingly unmarked from the perspective of Richmond County when you're looking at a guy that's already scored 9 times this season. And he didn't join up with Hoboken from the start of the year either. He arrived in late October. His streak of consecutive games with a goal came to an end against the Pancyprians a few weeks ago. He's been scoring again, though. That's 3 now in 2 games for Bello. Epiteam, so good in traffic. Epiteam, not going to get the call there. Kaptanovic trying to get to it, keeps it in, and now a nudge by Shadimu. Can see where some of the frustration's been on some of these calls by Hoboken, although that one was definitely a foul. As we head into the 40th minute here at Laurel Hill Park. Can Richmond get themselves back into this? Sal Barone. Will try to swing it in. Back post, Bordy. Easy. Ooh. Just as he caught that, a really unpleasant gust of wind came out of the Hackensack River. Epiteam looking for Rojak, I think in the middle. Libreros, though, gains it again. Epiteam in the channel. He gets pushed down. No call there. That was absolutely a push in the back. If it wasn't already 3-0, I would be deeply aggrieved if I was Hoboken there. And now Shadimo loses this ball to Islami. Barone blocked. That, I think, was the first shot of the day for Richmond. Kubel. Krongold. McGregor. He and Epitime have stayed on those two sides, but he sails that one over. And it is going to be a throw-in out near the flag. Early one by Cam McGregor. And two more from Mike Bello. Have us at 3-0 in the dying stages of this first half. Kapitanovic couldn't keep it in. Bello. Kubel was trying to take it off him. Ran into a wall though. Islami trying to get that out to Caesar, but the angle read well by Krongold. Both players on the left back. Ooh, Caesar jumping back there. Here's LaRose. That is Islami. He's got Favard. Tried to get it to him, but nothing there. McGregor. That was a good challenge by LaRose, but just as good by Rojek. That header by Kane denies the ball from Bello. Caesar. Libreros. He over-pursued that. Here is Kubel. He's been playing almost as an attacking midfielder today. He's been very far forward. Epitime. That time, Kapitanovic had position. And McGregor is going to get called for a clip there on Guarnara. About 2.5 minutes left in this half. Richmond looking like they want more than just the simple foul. Richmond have their targets up. So this ball is going to get scooped in long. We'll see how much stoppage time we get in this half. Damien Searchwell was down for a long time. That is way over. And it looks like it hopped the fence, and that might end up in a watery grave. Three minutes of stoppage time was just indicated. Feels about right. Bello. There's Favard just a little bit ahead of Garner. Garner still putting the pressure on. Favard just kept that in, but it's Rojek. Rojek to the middle. Mark. Oh, it's off the base of the post. Kubel. Sergio Kubel just gets closer and closer. He's put a couple over the top. That time, taking it just off the bottom of the post. Epitime. That'll stay right here. Guarnara. That was Shodimu who came out of nowhere to head that. Here is Kubel. Kubel, is this the time? He just leaves it for Bello. It's a hat trick. His second hat trick of the year. And in the first minute of stoppage time, Mike Bello has completed his second hat trick. In just over a month. And that's going to do it. Referee calling time a little early there. Well, this has been about as dominant a game as we've seen Hoboken play this year. Cam McGregor in the 6th minute, and then over the course of 20, starting in the 25th minute, Mike Bello scoring his second hat trick of the year. McGregor assisting one, Sergio Kubel the other two. We are halfway home here at Laurel Hill Park. The score, Hoboken 4, Richmond County 0. We'll be back with our second half right after these messages, so stay with us.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrabax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish. Flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrabax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game and Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back to Laurel Hill Park. We are about ready to start our second half. Hoboken leading Richmond County 4-0 at the break. Cam McGregor starting it early, and then Mike Bello with a hat trick over the last 25 minutes or so. 2 assists from Sergio Cubel. Some good news to mention. I spoke with some of Hoboken's players at halftime. Damien Searchwell, it was not his knee that they were looking at, it was his groin. Looks like a groin pull, which is a lot better than what I was afraid it was. So that's some good news. He was replaced by Jack Krongold, who has played very well so far. And it's Musa Diarra getting himself into trouble. This could be, nope, McGregor a little bit too high, and that one also heading toward the river. There is no van down by here, though. This is a game that Hoboken has been in total control of from the word go. By my count, Richmond only ended up attempting 1 shot the entire half. There is at least 1 change for Richmond. As you can see, that on the ball there was Dylan Meadows, number 7. Sohib Shadimu, Sam Epitim. Epitim gets away from LaRose. Peterson LaRose couldn't quite keep that. Epitim stepped on the ball there. And now Sal Barone will try to move it. Meadows. Goal scoring has been a problem for Richmond. They don't have anybody on the team with more than 5. That's Amir Islami. A couple of other players that have 3, including Mark Schnadstein, who is on the bench today. He had a day last year in this fixture when Richmond won that 5-4 game. He had a hat trick. Keithlin Caesar poked away from the run of Meadows by Libreros. Christian Libreros. Let's see if Bello had the measure of the line. It looked like he did, but that was taken away by Chris Genie. Here's Paredes. McGregor. A little bit too much for Garner. Libreros taking that away, and that's been the game. Hoboken never letting Richmond come away with much of anything in the way of possession. They've just claimed the ball repeatedly. That time, though, Islami gets through. Islami is down in the box. There is no call for a foul there, and I think that was the right call. McGregor went to ground, but didn't get much of Islami. Didn't really look like they made contact with each other at all. It almost looked like the The contact was with the ball. The slide tackles caused him to trip over the ball. Doesn't mean it hurts any less for Amir Islami. But it was the right decision not to issue that as a penalty. Drop ball. Here's Krongold. He was instrumental in that second goal. That ball is carried over the line by Mike Bello. Armando Guarnera will trigger it back in. Richmond started this game in a 4-2-3-1. They've since tried to shift out into a 3-5-2 to try to work themselves into a better defensive position. It looks like they're trying to go back into that shape, though. That's a foul. Libreros looking for a yellow card there. It was a bit of bite to that challenge, but nothing, I think, quite rising to the level of a yellow card. Epiteam, and he's going to get called for handball there. That is through the middle, but Barone is offside. Bordy making a great save anyway. Hoboken getting it back in. Here's Kubel. 2 assists today for him. Could have scored himself on Hoboken's 4th goal instead. Very unselfish to dish it to Bello, who was all alone. There was Richmond County are hoping for anything like a comeback. They're going to have to score, and they're going to have to score fast. But the way this game has been developing is Rojek takes that one away. And that last ball was expecting a run from Islami, and he didn't get it. Epiteam. Krongold is overlapping. That's a foul. Now Krongold dips inside Guarnera. Still with it. Trying to switch it. McGregor. Rojek. Garner. A little bit short there. But Libreros makes the play. Bordy. If we had a possession stat in this game, it would be rather lopsided, I would think. Kubel. A little bit much for Rojek, but he stretches and gets it to McGregor. That is Garner, who just put that a little bit too far forward for Bello. He was being marked pretty tight, which in and of itself is a bit of an event for Richmond. He's been all alone way too many times. Guarnera. That's Kubel who took that away. Meadows pokes it out though. Meadows is trying to get that back to Keithland Caesar. Meadows. Garner up on defense. Shodimu closing down as well. Here is Caesar. Caesar fizzes that one well over the head of Meadows. And some changes on the Hoboken side. And it looks like they will wait until the next stoppage. Kubel pokes that ahead. Kane heads it, but only as far as McGregor. Put a good ball over there. Krongold. He tries to put it towards the Terror Twins who were lined up in the box. Islami pushes that for Caesar. Caesar gets inside Epiteam, into the box. Islami blasts over. That was one of the best opportunities that Richmond has had. I'm going to modify that. That was the best opportunity Richmond's had all game. Changes coming for Hoboken. That is Rojek who is stepping away. Luke Smith is on for him. Ramshui-Saint-Ville coming on for Epiteam. Tohib Shodimu stepping away as well. I believe that is Ivan Hurtado. It is. And Bordy will bring this ball back into play now. It is getting a little bit beyond chilly and more towards cold here as the wind starts picking up off the river. And that's a bit of a mistake by Paredes, but Garner recovering. Islami looking again. Here is Caesar. Bordy! That was some great goalkeeping by Bordy to wrong foot Keithland Caesar. We do have some more APSL action for you at 7:30 tonight. Zum Schneider will take on Vistula Garfield. And then on Wednesday, the Hellenic Derby between Leros and Doxa. That is Wednesday at 9 p.m. There is a change coming for Richmond, perhaps more than one. It's Guarnera coming off. Is Guarnera coming off, or is he shifting over? I think it's the latter, actually. Peter Genie, number 2, coming on, as is number 9, Mark Schnadstein. Remember, Schnadstein scoring a hat trick on this field last year. McGregor. Smith. Krongold. Nice return ball to Smith. Smith inside. Fizzes the ball across and just missing it is Mike Bello. He had his 4th right there if he had made contact with that and he knew it. Paredes wins that. Schnadstein, a little bit more of a traditional striker up there. A foul, an offside call there. Who was the offside against? Caesar. Caesar. That is thumped away by Kubel. First corner of the half for Richmond. It's their fourth today. They take it quickly and immediately losing it. Peterson LaRose. That was a waste of an opportunity there. Smith pokes that through to Libreros. Sainville. Garner pushing it forward for him. Sainville forces the throw in. Kubel. Kubel. He's wanted a goal. Has it taken off of him though by Moussa Diarra. Kubel's missed high a few times. He's hit the post as well. Paredes. Richmond have had just a tiny bit more in the way of attacking momentum here, just a tiny bit. Bello called offside. Just beyond the hour mark now. No change to the scoreline that we had at the half. It is 4-0. Schnadstein winning the header. That's the kind of thing that they didn't really have up top in the first half, with Amir Islami really being more of a false nine. Barone. Caesar. Off the pass from LaRose. Caesar. Barone, that is deflected, but it is no trouble for Andrew Bordy, who just made his first save of the day. Smith. McGregor looking for Kubel. Keeper way off his line here. And Golder giving away the corner. That was not the greatest of moves by Golder. First corner of the half for Hoboken. They had 5 in the first. Into the box, headed away. Paredes wanted to take that down and shoot, but it's taken off of him before he could get there. And Schnadstein well ahead of Barone as he tried to release on that counterattack. There is some consternation there on the Richmond sideline. More changes for Hoboken coming. Diarra. Genie. The pressure from McGregor, but he was offside there. And there's going to be a yellow card here for McGregor. That's very harsh, I guess, for playing beyond the whistle. First booking of the match. Now the changes will come. I see Garner moving off, Kubel stepping away, and McGregor as well. Tyler Diaz is one of the men on. Ivan Garcia as well. Garcia immediately called into action defensively. Here's Caesar. Any danger that Richmond has made has come off of his foot. Libreros loses it in a bad spot. Ball falls to Caesar. He could only poke it towards a teammate. It was an awkward bounce. Bello fighting with Guarnera. Caesar has a row of defenders waiting to try to cut off that cross. And that's a header, and that goes in. Richmond County with a goal. It was Meadows. No, it was Schnadstein. Fourth of the season for Schnadstein. And it's 4-1. Smith, high boot. I don't know what the... Here is Caesar. Hurtado just going to back it up to Bordy. Bordy's got to blast that out to avoid the corner. That was bouncing around. And let's see if that unlocks some momentum for Richmond County. Not that time, says Paredes off the long throw. Another one from Genie. That ball pops up, cleared away. That's a foul against Chris Genie. 40 has one taken through his back. So the goal by Schnadstein, which is now his fourth on this field in the last two games. Here comes Saintville. Saintville. Diarra with a good challenge to stop him, but it's going to stay here for the throw. Caesar. Guarnera. Barone. Guarnera looking for Schnadstein. He's onside, and he scores again! This is something interesting. And with 20 minutes left, it's 4-2. I think Hoboken may have put themselves on cruise control a little bit. Mark Schnadstein scoring goals. 2 quick goals in 3 minutes. All of a sudden, this looks like more of a game. It's a heavy tackle there. That's a good ball. Garcia. Garcia. That's going to be a corner. Corners taken quickly. Smith couldn't get it. Here comes Schnadstein again. This time Paredes says no, and that's a handball. Hurtado sends that one long. Diaz loses that one out to LaRose, but Garcia, and here comes Bello. Genie just sweeps it away, but Saint-Ville recovers it on the back end. Saint-Ville, that's going to be Hoboken's ball. 4-2. Saint-Ville. Garcia. Diaz trying to turn. Didn't. Here comes Caesar. And Hurtado gets a foot in nicely. Kills the momentum a bit. Hoboken have to be thinking there's no way. They've blown some leads in their time, but we've never seen it 4-0. This one in the Hoboken box. That one is blasted over everyone. Krongold sends it upfield. Bello. Bello. He's going to send Diaz forward, but a little bit too much, and Golder able to pick that out. A little bit less power on that, and Diaz just goes. That ball slightly mishit by Garcia. Caesar with Krongold on him. Caesar cutting in. Caesar wanted to do something with that. Guarnera has it poked away from him. It's going to be a corner. Into the box, headed down right at 40. Schnadstein had scored that again. That is tossed out. Saint-Ville. Kaptanovic takes that away. Saint-Ville That is called a foul. That looked like a fair win to me. Quickly taken. That was a good shot by Meadows, but it was offline. Saint-Ville's gonna get a yellow card here for dissent. "15 minutes to go." Bit of a unjustified yellow, if you ask me, with Saint-Ville, just because really wasn't a foul. Second booking of the game, both of them going to Hoboken. Garcia, here's Saint-Ville. Saint-Ville took too heavy a touch. Golder picking it up. Ever since that first goal by Mark Schnadstein, Richmond really seemed like they have finally settled and have finally started to be able to play. That was, and now a foul there and a yellow card for LaRose. Libreros down on the field. There is a lot of arguing coming. LaRose is running the risk of getting a second yellow and second snap yellow. He is angry. This is not a referee that takes dissent like that, sustained dissent like that very well. Libreros, by the way, has not gotten up. He is still, now he's getting himself picked up. Trainer hasn't come out. Looked like that might have taken his shin guard out. LaRose, I think what really set LaRose off was that he thought he had been fouled just a moment before. Didn't think that he had. And Keithland Caesar might have rolled his ankle against the ball there, and Smith sportingly giving him a second. Krongold, Genie, couldn't clear. LaRose really will have to calm down. Paredes, Bordy, looking for Krongold. That, I think, was as much, I don't know if that was as much of a mishit as it was the wind. There was a gust that just blew that altered the trajectory of that pass. Caesar, it's going to stay here. The next goal, if it comes, is going to be really decisive. If it's Hoboken, that ball bounces off of Schnadstein. Schnadstein had gone down under some pressure. The ball really hit him as much as he hit it. And it bounced right to Bordy. Saint-Ville. Saint-Ville around LaRose, who has to be careful now. Diarra Got the ball, but it's going to be a goal kick. Just about 10 minutes to go. Paredes steps up and wins that. Diarra down to Meadows. And that is out of play. It was a 4-goal lead with 23 minutes to go. It's 4-2 now after the quick fire double by Mark Schnadstein, who in his last 2 games here at Laurel Hill has now scored 5 times. Trying to get out of a crowd. Swinging it out, Guarnara. Caesar. Being shepherded toward the byline. Krongold takes it off him. Smith. Up to Bello. That's going to be a throw-in. Takes the air out of it. Bello tying his shoe. Meanwhile, Krongold puts the ball back into play. Chris Genie takes that. Now Smith. Garcia. Garcia taken down. Guarnara the guilty party, and this is a possibility. No, they're going to take this short with 10 to go. Diaz, long shot wide. Perhaps not the greatest of decisions by Diaz, as you really want to bleed some time off the clock here. This game has gone from a laugher to something a lot more closely run. Saint-Ville. Referee indicates advantage. Garcia. Diaz. Advantage again. Diaz. And Saint-Ville was a little bit beyond the line. This match has come alive. Hoboken absolutely dominated it for the first hour and change. Richmond have pulled their way back. Guarnara. Inside run there by Caesar. He got cut off. That, though, is poked just wide by Barone. Oh, goodness. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is brought to you by Umbro. You can head to umbroteam.com to start designing your team kit for free now. Produced by Umbro, designed and worn by you. Foul there. Libreros to Saint-Ville. There is still a lot of danger on this field for Hoboken, despite the fact that McGregor is off. That ball just a little bit beyond LaRose. Diaz. Garcia was offside. Time is ticking. Golder way out of his goal to take this free kick. That's Richmond just wanting to send as many bodies forward as they can here. Guarnara knocking that out of bounds.
Watch it, touch.
Krongold will trigger it back in. Hoboken holding this 2-goal lead late here. Garcia has that taken away by LaRose. Poked away from him though. Cutting into the middle. Looking for Bello. He was offside. Genie. Garcia closing him down. That goes out of play. It's a Hoboken throw, and they will not rush this. Inside of 4 minutes to go. Garcia, Smith continues to go. Krongold. Diaz swarmed. LaRose comes out of it. Schnadstein with Paredes in a foot race. Paredes wins it. And he'll get that out, and a foul. The assistant referee is signaling for a foul. Referee in the middle, it took a second to agree with him. Hurtado. 3 minutes left on the clock. If Richmond are going to make it a grandstand finish, it's going to have to be now. Krongold. Kaptanovic. This is Schnadstein, just a little wide. That would have been it. That would have set up the finish. Just that little defensive breakdown. That ball just spun the tiniest bit too much. Saint-Ville. Meadows comes out with it. Meadows was held back. It's a foul. Now if you're Richmond, do you wait for a second to send this in, or do you just go quickly? It looks like it's going to be the former. Towards the box, headed out by Paredes. Diaz, hounded by 2. LaRose gets the ball off of him. Not before Kaptanovic pokes it away. It's going to be a throw. Richmond screaming for a foul. Again, didn't look like it. Diaz. Krongold. Garcia. Diaz switches. Saint-Ville. Drops it off. That's poked away from Luke Smith, but recovered quickly by Paredes. But that pass was not anticipated. Krongold does anticipate that. Great defensive play there by Krongold. Dropped back, but Garcia missed it. Smith. Krongold still there. We've got a man down for Richmond. Krongold down. And the shot by Garcia over. Would have sealed it. At this point now, we are in stoppage time. Meadows can't get through. He let that one get a little bit too far ahead of him. LaRose, Meadows. Going into the middle, Caesar was the target there. Bordy comes out, and that is, like we said, Andrew Bordy commanding that box. See just how much time is left. Saint-Ville. Richmond have made a game of this, but it looks like they will have run out of time. Genie tries to throw it up. Smith repels it. Taken down by Meadows. Wild attempt at a switch there. Guarnara doesn't have a route out. Garcia holding it. Garcia. Diaz. Garcia! He put it a little bit beyond him. It's a goal kick. Coming up on the end of 2 minutes of stoppage time. Headed down to Saint-Ville. He'll take it a little bit leisurely. Saint-Ville cutting in. Saint-Ville. Diarra. That's going to be a foul. Golder trying to send it back. Libreros brings it down. Trying to get that to Garcia. Guarnara can't get around Libreros. He's fouled. And that, I think, wraps up anything that could have otherwise been. Referee just took a quick look. Saint-Ville. Saint-Ville again. Saint-Ville way over. Got under it, and that is going to do it. A little bit of a wobble midway through the second half for Hoboken. But ultimately, it is 3 points for the men in blue. A hat trick by Mike Bello. Cam McGregor scoring again. The final score of this one, Hoboken 4, Richmond County 2. We'll be right back. We'll have some of the players of this match for a few words right after this.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrabax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrabax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
We got an early goal and then it just took us a while to get another one, but we just had to be patient. You know, we didn't want to rush through it, and then when the second one came, the third one came, then, you know, there's no rush in scoring goals. As long as we get them, I'm not complaining.
That first half was just one of the most dominant halves I've seen this team play in a long, long time. What was the key to that? To just absolutely suffocating them. You never let them. It seemed like they hardly ever even had a touch in your half of the field.
Yeah, so the plan was to not let them play. We needed to start sharp, and that's exactly what we did. Pressure up high, you know, force them on the long balls, and then as soon as we win it, we go at them. You know, we didn't want to give them space and time to play because that would have boosted their confidence, so we shut that down early.
And was a little bit of a wobble there midway through the second half. Is that just a bit of a lack of focus, or was that just you know, one of the things about the game?
I think we're always focused, but you know, when you go up, we're 4-0 up, sometimes you can automatically take your foot off the gas. So we just had to keep our heads on. Obviously they got 2 back, but we managed to see the game out, and that's the most important thing.
All right, Mike, thanks very much for your time again.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very
Congratulations once again.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much for watching. Our final score one more time. Hoboken FC 4, Richmond County FC 2. Thanks very much for watching us. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game and Frame, and we'll see you for our next match.